You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Governor Tom Wolf signed the state budget today, which includes the largest investment into public education in state history. $416 million in state funding will go toward public education. $200 million of that's for the fair funding formula, which ensures that each school district in the Commonwealth's getting the support they need. The budget will also help provide affordable child care for parents who wish to return to the workforce, as well as residents struggling with mortgage and rent following the pandemic. Wolf also vetoed a bill that would impose additional voter ID restrictions and put limits on the mail-in voting system. A Hazleton man was arrested after engaging in sexually explicit conversations and attempting to solicit nude photos from an undercover detective posing as a minor. According to police in Kingston, 35-year-old Oliverio Cortez Perez initiated a conversation with a detective posing as a 15-year-old girl back in March. Plans were eventually made to meet at a predetermined location where he intended to pick up and take the girl to his house to engage in sexual activity. Once he arrived, officers took him into custody. He was arraigned Friday afternoon on charges of unlawful contact with a minor, obscene contact or communication with a minor, and criminal use of a communication facility. He was denied bail and lodged at Luzerne County Prison. The trial of Anthony Spudis has been given a lengthy continuance once again. The 38-year-old's facing an open count of criminal homicide for the stabbing death of 97-year-old Gertrude Price after he allegedly broke into Price's Nanticoke home on Thanksgiving back in 2013. Spudis has been locked up since his December 2017 arrest, and his trial's been postponed several times since. The decision came during a motions hearing before Luzerne County Judge Tina Polacek-Gartley. The county judge ultimately sided with the defense, citing their concerns regarding the pandemic and its effect on jurors, as well as the severity of the trial since the prosecution's pursuing the death penalty. Spudis' next motion hearing is scheduled for next week, and the trial is set to begin during the first week of January. A Luzerne County man pled guilty Tuesday to sexually assaulting a young girl. 46-year-old Richard Tomko was accused of assaulting a 14-year-old juvenile in Wilkes-Barre Township back in July of last year. Tomko pled guilty in Luzerne County Court to charges of aggravated indecent assault, corruption of minors, indecent exposure, and unlawful contact with a minor. With holiday travel expected to be at an all-time high this weekend, PennDOT urges residents to put safety first. WYLN's Julie Stefanovich has some advice for July 4th road trippers.
Officials with PennDOT want residents to have a safe and healthy 4th of July holiday weekend, as a record number of Americans are expected to travel following the over year-long pandemic.
This is going to be a large 4th of July because of it's a long weekend. It could be 4 days, 3 days for some people. And we're looking at talking about safety, when you're driving your car, riding your bike, walking on the road, motorcycle. There's all forms of safe transportation and to be safe.
Traveling by motor vehicle has become a popular option for most this summer season.
I always suggest is to take your time, follow the rules of the road, and especially do not drink and drive because local police will be cracking down on impaired drivers. So you don't want to drink and drive. You don't want to text and drive, and you want to buckle up every time you go out. And if you have your children with you, please make sure that they're in a proper child safety passenger seat. So there's a couple rules, and to follow the rules of the road and the speed limit, and take your time.
There's also safety rules to follow when you're having fun out on the waterways.
BUI, which they call it, is something that I think that a lot of people don't think about. And a lot of people will be on lakes, waterways, watching fireworks with their family. Things are opening up. We just want to remind everybody that you could get a you could get pulled over on the waterways for drinking on a boat while you're driving the boat.
PennDOT urges everyone to be mindful of others, whether they're traveling on foot, by car, or by bicycle.
So we want cars to understand that, there are people out. A lot of people have picked up bicycling, jogging, walking, as with the pandemic and people were home and, wanting to get out. So, motorists still need to be mindful of, what's around you, be a defensive driver.
Driving when drowsy is also a safety issue. So be sure to take the necessary breaks by utilizing PennDOT's rest areas.
This 4th of July, there may be some groups out there offering coffee breaks, but hopefully by the fall and Thanksgiving, we'll be up to full capacity with the coffee breaks.
Road construction throughout the area is scheduled to be put on hold from Friday afternoon until Monday evening. And for the most up-to-date traffic information, visit 511pa.com or download the app. Reporting for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thanks, Julie. And speaking of the holiday weekend, the All-American Fabergé girls will salute our great country America this weekend at City View Park. The beautifully costumed, fine young Fabergé Follies showgirls will be dancing and flipping to uplifting patriotic tunes this Saturday for the first annual D'Angelo Independence Day charity event at City View Park.
Since it's July 3rd/4th, we call it the All-American Fabergé Girls. And it's a beautiful show celebrating the beauty of our country, America. I think it's important that the dancers learn to use their talents to share with the community, not just for themselves, but rather to make this event better. It's for a good cause. Everyone's been working hard, especially the D'Angelo family. I think it's going to be a great day out for everyone.
Saturday's schedule is packed with fun. A few races in the morning, DJs, a kids' fun zone, the D'Angelo family exotic car and truck collection, autographs from professional athletes who will be there on site, a silent auction, food trucks, tricky trays, and of course, the beautiful Fabergé Follies.
As you just heard, we will be having the Fabergé Follies. The girls did put in so much hard work, and it really shows. They're truly dedicated, and it's a beautiful show.
All the money raised on Saturday will be given to local youth sports programs like the Hazleton Area Little League Challenger Division, research to cure pediatric cancer, and autistic support programs.
We're also doing a local backpack for autism. Our family is extremely dedicated to giving back towards kids programs and things like that. Come up and see it and visit. There's something for everybody.
Once again, be sure to watch the All-American Fabergé girls salute our great country, America, this Saturday, July 3rd at 10:45 a.m. during the first annual D'Angelo Independence Day charity event at City View Park, located at 700 South Poplar Street in Hazleton. But you can call 954-298-8784 with any more questions. You can register for the Independence Day charity event races online at runsignup.com. And more on the foundation can be found at Paul and Lisa D'Angelo Family Foundation.org or on their Facebook page with the same name. 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue. Coming up on WYLN News, looking to safely shred your documents? Plus, what led Rocco to retire? But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ezra. I'm 5 years old, and it's gonna rain out. Bye.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton Mazda. It's the season of discovery, and we have inventory. 2021 Mazda CX-30s, got them. 2021 Mazda CX-5s, got them too. 2021 Mazda CX-9, got them. 2021 Mazda CX-30 for 0.9% for 63 months. 2021 Mazda CX-5, 0.9% financing for 63 months. Blaze Alexander Mazda Greater Hazleton has inventory. Check them out at blazemazdahazleton.com.
Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassat announced an upcoming paper shredding event for city residents at the end of July. The paper shredding event will take place Thursday, July 29th from 2 until 5 p.m. at City View Park, located at 700 South Poplar Street in Hazleton. You must show proof of residency, and there's a limit of 3 12 by 10 by 15 boxes per resident. Safe and secure shredding on site is also limited to confidential and sensitive materials only that are not wet or damp. So, no magazines, newspapers, 3-ring binders, plastics, heavy metals, trash, batteries, cell phones, CDs, or cardboard. Wyln's all-time OTC hero Marty Burns has the in-depth analysis of what's happening on and off-season across our viewing area. Rocco Patron's on this week, so let's talk sports. Here's part 3.
And before we got to graduation, the word came down that you were going to be retiring. This was going to be your final graduation as principal at Hazleton Area High School. The thought behind retiring?
Well, there comes a time when you have to make that decision. You're faced with those decisions, and family drives us. My family is definitely going to drive decisions that I make, and you have to look at personally, where do I see myself next year? Where do I see myself in years to come? And it comes back to family. And I just felt the time was right. In my mind and in my heart, as a different feeling and mixed feelings. So I'm really there in the same position until August. And I think that when September rolls around, it'll be a different feeling.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, I look back on my career as a teacher, a coach, and a principal, and so proud of our district, so proud of our community, and I'm very, very attached to the teachers, to the school, and of course, to my favorite people, the students.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned family. My back started to hurt because I started flashing back to 20 years ago when you brought your kids on when we were doing the show, and to see them grow, right?
Right. I mean, time goes fast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I thought a lot about you leading into graduation because I know you have an address to the seniors, as you do to every senior class at graduation. Was there any similarities in your mind to when you were preparing that final address at graduation to when you told your final football team that you were stepping down?
Oh, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, I had the same exact feeling. It's not that I was thrilled to leave the football team back in 2009 after 10 seasons. I still remember the last game. I remember like it was yesterday being in that locker room for the last time. And you just have that feeling in your stomach, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing for our town, for our community, for our school? And I struggled with the same thing with the announcement for retirement because you care so much. And that's the one thing you have in common with people that work in our community, in our school district, in our town, especially those that dedicate themselves to our youth. You're so attached to them, you care so much, and you just want to make sure you're doing what's right for everyone. So there's no doubt it was a similar feeling.
Coming up on Ringtown's News Choice, we're talking VR therapy on this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You. Plus, leading the way, part 3. Stay with us. But first, here's some upcoming firework displays from across our viewing area.
This Good News Wednesday, we're highlighting other graduates this year, as the residents at Heritage Hills had a special ceremony this morning to commemorate their graduating class from the PEER program. PEER, or Pennsylvania Empowered Expert Residents, are long-term care residents who are taught to self-advocate and empower their fellow residents to improve their quality of life and care in long-term care facilities. The program has 5 class courses alternating weeks with different topics for each class. Carbon County Commissioner Chris Lukasevich was also at the graduation this morning and felt a program like this is great for the community. But even after graduation, the residents will continue to meet and put to work what the PEER program has taught them. Congratulations to the residents at Heritage Hills. That's your Good News Wednesday. Thank you for joining us here on WYLN.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Chura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazelton, 570-454-7229.
Welcome to PTA News here on WYLN. I'm Julia Wiegand, and today we've got a very interesting Wellness Wednesday coming for you, thanks to our friends over at Lehigh Valley Health Network. Today we are on location at the Hazelton Health and Wellness Center with one of the physical therapists here, Shay Post. First of all, how are you doing, Shay?
Good, very good.
Now, today Shay is going to introduce virtual reality to us, and 1, I'm the guinea pig, but 2, she's going to explain how virtual reality can, in of itself, help with physical therapy, whether it be balance and so on and so forth. So Shay, I guess we'll start off by just kind of giving everyone a little preview. What is virtual reality and how can it help with physical and occupational therapy?
Okay, so you can see we have here a computer system. It's a desktop computer system. It's a computer-generated 3D environment. We use this head-mounted display, and when you're looking through the display, it's a very realistic environment that you'll see. We have different modules that we could use, whether you can almost feel like you're at the grocery store, stepping on and off an elevator, or we just have some fun modules to use in rehabilitation to challenge balance. So it comes with the hardware. We have a few different controllers that you'll use during the games that are very easy to use, just hitting the trigger. And it also uses some familiar technology, maybe from your kids or your grandkids' gaming systems, which is the Xbox control system. And there's a PlayStation steering wheel because there's a driver's module on here to practice driving and for people who might get overstimulated while they're driving. There are different types of virtual reality systems. There's non-immersible, which is something like the Wii that you would use. There's partially immersible, almost like if you were, like the military uses like for simulators. And this is actually pretty emerging technology. It's a fully immersible system. So you actually feel like you're where, the module tells you're at. So you really feel like you're in the grocery store. So it's pretty neat. We're going to use one of the balance modules called Reflex VR, and we use one of the controllers for this. All right. Today we'll start with the basics here for you. I want to embarrass myself on TV. So we center the environment. There's 2 tracking stations on either end of the room that pick up what is going on, and we can change the wall height to make patients stretch farther, make the balloon size bigger or smaller to make it more difficult. So the nice thing about virtual reality is that you could change the environment very easily and make it new for the patient, which is important when someone's recovering from a stroke or concussion, because the brain learns by learning new things.
Now, obviously, I'm not talking about myself because I'm having a blast here, but so say somebody comes to you and has motion sensitivity, because I mean, this is virtual reality.
Yeah.
How would something like virtual reality physical therapy or occupational therapy help with that, benefit that?
So there's a few different modules up on here that you can progress through. There's basic modules that may just have like a few stars in the sky, and there's something called optical flow, and it's how things, when you move through the environment, how you're perceiving things on the outside. Like if you're in a car and there's trees passing by. So there's actually a module on here with trees passing by. So it's very real, and it's something that, is important in people's lives. So we have ones that are games that are more fun, but we also have things that are more realistic. We have one that you go through a tunnel, and so the body has to accommodate to all that stimulation flowing past it. And so we start off like at a lower level, maybe about 30 seconds to 60 seconds to get the patient used to it and whatever they can tolerate. We only have like a mild to moderate amount of dizziness that we encourage, and then we stop the program. And so each time they would come in, they would try to tolerate it for a little bit longer. And then the body habituates to that.
And you mentioned something earlier about this also helps with balance. So can you explain that as well?
Sure. So we have a few different ones, a few different modules on here that we could use for balance. The Reflex VR is one of them. We can change how far the patient has to reach out of their base of support that challenges their balance by adjusting the wall size of the balloons. We have an escalator module where if patients who are fearful of falling, sometimes are fearful of stepping on and off of escalators. And so we can take them through this environment that feels a lot safer, than trying it out in Boscov's or something like that. So it's better to try it in like a safe environment, here, and then we can work them up to being able to do it in the community.
Now, to kind of tie this all together, what is one of the big messages that you want to get to our Wyln audience out there regarding physical therapy, occupational therapy, using virtual reality?
So virtual reality, it's an emerging technology that we have at the Health and Wellness Center. We'd love to help you if you're having any types of balance issues, dizziness issues, motion sensitivity issues. It's a fun way that we can even help treat orthopedic patients. There's some like bow and arrow, like target shooting on here. There's 39 different rehab modules we have on here. We have a supermarket, so if you're having some dizziness or balance issues at the supermarket, we can practice that here where, we couldn't practice something like that in a normal physical therapy clinic. So it's great to have this technology as a tool in our physical therapy department.
Well, thank you so much for letting me try this neat thing out. Very neat. I didn't even realize you could kind of see what was going on here.
Yep, we're watching what you're doing there.
And thank you, everybody watching out there. Remember, we're kind of inching into the future here, and virtual reality is just one of the many tools that can help with both physical and occupational therapy. So if this kind of piqued your interest, something that you could end up seeing yourself benefiting from, be sure to contact the Health and Wellness Center here in Hazleton, and who knows, maybe Shay will be here to help you out.
Sure. Thank you.
Of course. Well, that's it for this Wellness Wednesday, Community and You. We'll see you next time here on Wyln.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice, everyday low prices, plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton, everything to make your house a home.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
To learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Trooper Anthony Petrosky is leading the way into part 3 of this week's series.
And welcome back to this week's Leading the Way with State Trooper Anthony Petrosky. So we were talking about your role a little bit, just how you got there, and Can we dive more into what that role entails? I mean, you go out and you create a relationship with the public, and so if it helps, why don't we go through a day in the life of Trooper Petrosky?
So, being a community services officer, you are the one that's going to be able to talk to community members, talk to community groups, community leaders. Unfortunately, as a patrol trooper, you don't always get that opportunity, right? You're seeing people, you pull them over, they're a victim of a crime. It's not really the time or setting to be able to have conversations with community members about what their concerns are, what their questions are. So I can organize those. I do that. I go out, I talk to community groups. I hold public forums. I hold town hall forums, with either virtual or in person. Create programs. I'm in charge of Camp Cadet. I'm in charge of our Sunny Day Camp, Citizens Police Academy. All these great programs that bring the citizens that we get to serve every single day together with us. So now we have the time, we have the setting where we could sit down, we could talk to each other, have conversations like we're having right now. Well, not every day does somebody get to have those conversations with a trooper. And that's my job. So I'll go to community centers, I'll go to community groups, community events, and be available. Talk about role of Pennsylvania State Police, talk about why we do certain things. Maybe there was an incident that happened in the community and they wanted to talk to a trooper about it. Yeah. Hey, why did you do something this way? Or, what else can you have done? And I'll be that person that talks. So, I find it very rewarding. I like talking to community members. I feel it's important because we're only as strong as the community that we serve, right? And a lot of information we get from community members. We're out there every single day in our cars. We're patrolling, but we can't be everywhere at the same time. So we rely on the community members to call in information to us. Hey, this is going on here. And we appreciate those calls. So it's good to be able to give back, put together these community events. People around here love our Citizens Police Academy. It's a lot of fun. They get to learn a lot about the Pennsylvania State Police. And hopefully soon I'll be able to run one in this area now that things are starting to open up again. So I look forward to interacting with the community members. But that's a typical day. A lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, talking. Hey, we just yesterday, a young boy ran into a couple of our troopers at the mall. They were going to handle a call. And he always has his police gear with him. He wants to be a trooper. He wants to be a police officer. So I'm going to organize something with him where he could come and meet a bunch of us, sit in our car, hit the siren 100 times, giving back, and it's very rewarding.
Yeah. All right, folks. Check back tomorrow night as Trooper Anthony Petrosky continues leading the way into part 4 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or WYLNTV.com. You can also find LVHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.